So what ways does your body try to tell you that you're sore, tired, motivated? And when they do give you those signals, do you usually listen to them?
So I think the one that's the most obvious to me is when I am procrastinating my workout for a really long time. Like I'll literally have everything set up, like ready to go, and then I'll pick up my phone or go do something else, right? And so like I realize that I'm really tired, or maybe like I haven't eaten enough that day, but my energy is just crap and I don't feel like doing it. That's definitely the biggest one, I think. And I usually do try to listen to it. I've had to learn a little bit more what sets me up for that so that I can be more proactive about it. Because otherwise it would happen, I think, almost every day.
So just listening to your body and making sure like you just want to make sure that you're more aware of it, like listening to these signals when your body does let you know that you're feeling tired and motivated and sore, right?
Yeah. And so
Just
sometimes like if it feels like I can still do a workout, but maybe I'm not just going to be able to like give it as much juice, then I'll still
Mhm.
do the workout and just go a little bit lighter.
Yeah,
Or if it feels like it's not happening, like especially if I procrastinate for like a couple hours, then I usually just try and like get in steps instead or stretch or roll, you know what I mean? Something like that.
yeah,
So I'm still moving.
yeah, for sure. So like just being flexible with yourself, not saying, oh, I have to do this one thing or not. I won't feel fulfilled or not. It's not. I won't be satisfied. So being flexible to, like you said, if you're feeling tired or not feeling a workout, do some stretching, some walking, some maybe some light running.
And I try
Okay.
and get it done like I'll try and say, oh, okay, I'm gonna do that lifting session tomorrow instead or something like that, so that I can be more mentally prepared and kind of get myself in a better position. But yeah, I try and still do it at some point that week so that I'm still satisfying that, but still like honoring my body in the ways that I can, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So like adjusting your schedule to basically build yourself up for success.
Mhm.
Nice. Okay. Next, we'll talk about how like recovery works and why it's so important, right? So number one is sleep. Sleep is like the foundation of our recovery, right? Through sleep, we repair, rebuild our muscle tissue, releases growth hormones during deep sleep, and if we're not sleeping well, we have higher stress levels, slower muscle repair, and lower motivation, right? We won't feel like energized for practice tomorrow, for practice the next day, for even our workout, for even going to work. We mentally and physically will feel drained, right? So quality over quantity, right? Like we want to make sure our quality of sleep is great. So, sleeping in a dark, cool room, making sure there's no distractions like lights or blinking lights, noise. But, some people listen to white noise and that's also beneficial. Um, and so think of sleep as like a free natural recovery supplement, right? It's something that we all need, something that we're all going to do, throughout our lives, like no matter what. We need sleep, right? So yeah, after sleep, it's hydration and nutrition, right? We fuel and build, right? So we want to make sure that we're eating nutritious foods, that we're drinking enough water to transport all those nutrients throughout our body and to flush out the waste. Making sure we're eating enough protein, carbs, drinking enough electrolytes to restore those minerals that we lose through our sweat, right? From practice, working out, and running. And so the next important thing, paired with these two, with what we just talked about, is movement recovery, right? So staying active outside of your workouts and outside of practice, right? So for these movement recoveries, we want to make sure that we're doing light movements, nothing heavy, just like Eric mentioned in our messenger group. Doing very light exercise, foam rolling, going for a walk, just anything to, like Stella mentioned, and anything to increase that blood flow, keep that heart rate pumping, right? We want to lubricate our joints, keep our body moving, making sure they're running nice and smooth, right? And so other examples of like active recovery is like it could be physical therapy. If we're injured, we can go to physical therapy, making sure that we're doing those exercises and stretches that they're giving us at home for homework. Um, so next thing is stress management, recovering the mind to recover our bodies. right? It's just as important. So resting our mind is also part of our physical recovery, right? Resting our mind is part of physical recovery, right? So to lower our stress hormones, um, that allows our nervous system to rest and repair, to, to stay calm. If we're always in a constant state of high stress, um, if we're always in a constant state of high stress, it slows down our recovery and repair. It increases fatigue and affects our sleep, right? So, if we're always stressed, we can't really sleep at night. We're waking up, our mind is running. We're waking up the next day feeling fatigued, feeling tired, drained for practice, for work, for school. So we need to set boundaries for our, right? So some boundaries can include like setting an alarm, setting a bedtime, uh, cutting off our phone or screen time like we're doing right now in the challenge, uh, breathing techniques, and spending time outdoors. Going outside for a hike, going for a walk, anything that can get you outdoors into your body, right? And to calm you. Recovery is not just about doing less or doing nothing at all. It's about doing the right things for our body to help our body bounce back for those practices, for workouts, for school,